Hey, what's going on, dudes? My name is TDC and welcome back to SkyFactory 3. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic today. Thank you guys so much for all the support on Monday's, or I guess it was Friday's video of my Minecraft world. You guys were awesome. Thank you for all the support and the welcome backs. I knew it had been a long time, but you guys, I was a little nervous about posting a video because it had been so long that I thought maybe it wouldn't have, it wouldn't really turn out all that well, but you guys were awesome. You brought the support. It was fantastic. So thank you so much. But today is going to be a little bit of a toury episode in SkyFactory 3 because I've actually done a lot of stuff around here that I want to show you guys first, and I feel like it's going to take a little while. If we have time at the end of the episode, we will figure out something else to do, but for now, I'm just going to kind of show you or take you through what I've done and some of the changes that I've made around this place, and there's actually quite a bit here. So over the last month or so, it's been, yeah, I guess about a month that I've kind of been able to chip away at some of these projects and just trying to get things cleaned up for when we do come back and all that kind of stuff. But I've been able to play it for a couple hours a week maybe, and those times I've just kind of been, like I said, working on cleaning things up, trying to figure out some of the FPS issues that we've been having around here. And I think I've got most of it cleared up for now. Obviously, with modded Minecraft, that's just going to keep coming back, but I got to do what I can in the meantime. So I have actually taken out a bunch of the machines and different things that we've had in this wall. So before, it was kind of filled up all the way to the ceiling. And I took all those out and I've moved them over to our factory island, which we'll get to here in just a little bit, but I'm just trying to kind of clear up some of the cables around here, make things run just a little bit smoother. So we've gotten rid of a bunch of stuff here. This is still kind of my main storage area for most of our stuff. But yeah, you can see we've actually got quite a bit of stuff. A lot of this stuff has just been running constantly. So like our Supremium Essence, the farm over at our farm pyramid, I will show you here in just a little bit, but that's been running, so we've got a ton of this Supremium Essence, which I think we're probably going to make some armor soon. I've already made a couple of tools, which I'll show you here in a little bit. Got a bunch of painted glowstone, been using those for lights around here, trying to get rid of the torches. And other than that, I think that's really about it. It was just the machines. I did move the smeltery from this corner over just to kind of center it up, and I think it looks okay. I don't really plan on using this a whole bunch, but it's set up in a way now where we can just kind of feed it and it automatically gets sucked in and out with these liquid translocators and the item translocators. These things are awesome. I used them a lot in the Infinity Evolved Expert Mode pack, but I didn't realize we had them, and we've actually got quite a few updates in SkyFactory 3, which added some new stuff and new parts to mods and all that kind of cool stuff. But yeah, so back here I have our cobble gen, which is making lava in these barrels, which fills this tank. And I think eventually I'm going to hook up some sort of ender tank back here, so it just kind of fills up the ender tank if we ever need mobile lava. And then it's also filling up this stone barrel, which is then covered with water, and this makes obsidian. And then it goes into the storage drawer here, so we just kind of have a passive obsidian farm. So one day this will fill up and I don't think we'll ever need any more obsidian. So yeah, got that going. Nothing has really changed with the mob farm over here. This is all turned off for the moment because I haven't really been using it or needing a bunch of the stuff that it's been giving me. And to clean this area up, got rid of all the torches, used the painted glowstone along with this area here. And I did add one new chicken. This one here. I got a copper chicken because I was needing copper for something. I think it was for these windmills. I made an extra windmill up here just to kind of speed this up. And it's still, hey, cable, give me that. But it's still, oh, it's working. What's going on now? Why are you stopped? Are you stopped? Why are you stopped? Uh-oh, something's wrong here. I don't know what's going on. Something here is clogged up, which is why this isn't working. Is this barrel full? Shouldn't be full. No. 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 Uh-oh. I don't know. That's going to be a problem for some other time. I don't think I really need any more soul sand and clay right now. So we'll leave that as is. But yeah, so I added the second windmill up here. just to kind of speed it up because it was running out of power, to be honest, and it wasn't able to keep up with just these 3 auto hammers, and I didn't really know why, but these don't really create a whole lot of power. But then I upgraded the cables and stuff coming off of them, and it seems to work a little bit better. I don't know if I need to switch these to high voltage. I can't imagine that this is a high voltage generator, but I don't know. Maybe you guys know how to speed the power up from these 2 windmills. I don't know how much it should be making, so I don't know. That's the thing. Then over here, nothing has really changed. I just added a hemp farm because I needed it for making those windmills, and then I think eventually we're gonna have some sort of crops over here that we use quite a bit, maybe. I'm not sure. I just kind of laid out the plots here so I could see what it looked like. I got rid of all of these farms because I wasn't using them. Really the only one that I was using was the carrots for the carrot juice, which I was eating for a long time. But then I started making this toast because it does a lot more hunger and I have to eat a lot less often, which is nice. Really nice. And sleep real quick. And then over here, I had built this all out and it didn't have anything in here, and I thought it just kind of needed something else, so I figured I'd move our steel production from over there to over here. And I realized that we have the advanced blast furnace or whatever it's called from Immersive Engineering, which is the weird pointy looking one, which we'll probably set up someplace else, but I just think that this is a nice touch over here. It looks cool. I like the way these machines look. And then we've got our stuff here. So this is getting pretty full. I've got 653 buckets of this creosote oil, which I've been using quite a bit for the treated wood to just do some of these weird little archways kind of over the bridge, just to give it a little bit more depth, because I'll show you this over here. These bridges, they just kind of start to look really plain if you don't do stuff with them. I haven't done anything with this one, and it looks kind of boring, so I'd like throwing those little tops on just to kind of add some character. So eventually we'll get to adding them around the whole area here. But yeah, so I think that's it for over here. No other really big changes or anything like that. I really haven't done anything big, just because I didn't want to do anything off camera without you guys. I'd say the biggest thing I've done over here was these guys, but I was working on these, I think last episode. We were working on trying to get some of the ores so we could make I forget which one we were trying to make. Was it the miner or the resource? I think it was the resource miner. This guy here. So I went ahead and built it. It's a tier 3, which we still need to upgrade to a tier 4. But it's all working pretty well. I've got a little storage system set up over here. It's a little sub network. And then it's got all the stuff that it is collecting, I guess. So we got actually a lot of this mica stuff, which is what we were needing to build the other one. And then we're just kind of starting to collect in some of the other ores, like the dimensional shard ores, which we're going to need in the future, and yellowite for big reactors and all that kind of good stuff. So if we just ever need like ores for recipes, it's all coming from here. And then that's from the ore miner, and the resource miner is giving us all this stuff like netherrack and endstone and the colored clay, you know, just a bunch of junk really. So eventually we'll set it up so we void all that stuff because I don't need it. But for now, we're just going to keep it in those storage drawers. Oh, excuse me. And then over here, this I made because I'm an idiot and didn't realize that we had this. I had completely forgot that we made this rod of the lands. So this thing, it creates dirt out of mana. And we use our little mana ring that we have here, or band of mana, to hold mana from the mana generation up there on the Botania Island. But I needed dirt and I forgot that I had it, so I created this whole farm just to start collecting dirt. And then as soon as I got done building this, I realized that we had that rod thing. But yeah, so basically this is just a farming station from Ender.io, which right behind it we've got a couple of plots for these oak trees. And then in here, we've got our Supremium tools that I was talking about. I realized I could probably make another Maddock or something like that. It'd be cheaper from Tinker's Construct. But I just went ahead and made it and stuck this in here. Really, it was the shears that I needed to be unbreakable because I was feeding this thing. I was feeding this thing shears like crazy, and it was driving me nuts. So I just went ahead and made that. These guys aren't actually too bad. It's just these cores that took a nether star. And then these guys, they just kind of slowly tier up, which we had everything except for, what was it? I think it was the nether star that I wasn't short on, but that was my last nether star. So we definitely need to work on getting some more and getting this automated somehow at some point. I'm not in a huge rush to do that because it's kind of scary. But yeah, so it chops everything down, sticks the wood and the leaves and the apples and stuff like that you get from chopping down the oak trees. And it sticks it all in this barrel at compost, and then from here it gets fed into this drawer over here. So you can see we got a lot of oak wood and a lot of dirt. And this is set up on one of these network receivers, so we can see all this stuff in our main storage system over there. So, and then I got kind of the same thing over here on this side, but if you guys can't tell, I really like spruce wood. I've been using a lot of it, and I set up this little automatic spruce wood farm over here. So really the same thing. It just grows trees and chops them all down, and then it just collects the wood in here, collects the saplings. And then, yeah, this one I'm actually feeding axes because I had a ton of these axes from the loot bags that I wasn't ever going to use. So I just figured I'd stick them in a chest over there and use that. But slowly looking around here, I think that's about everything except for this main island over here, which I guess is the last thing. I just want to make sure. I want that to be like the last thing we show off. But I think that's it. I think we're pretty much good. Oh, I was going to ask you guys too, does this bother you as much as it bothers me? I feel I turned the skybox off from Botania. You can do that with the Lexica Botania. But now when I get to a certain height, it like pops back and forth between this blue and black. And I don't like it too much. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to turn that back on. So let's just go ahead and do that real quick. But if that bothers you, if it doesn't bother you guys, then I may keep it off. But if you come in here, Botania options, fancy SKYBLOCK, so we can go ahead and enable that. And yeah, there it goes. It's turned back on. So I don't know. Because I get tired of looking at all this stuff all the time. I mean, it's cool looking, but at the same time, I just kind of want my normal vanilla skies. And the reason it bothers me is because you can see the stars throughout the day, and so when you're under something, the sky kind of starts to get darker, and I feel like it's nighttime, so I'm just waiting around to sleep, but it never gets dark. I don't know. So that's a thing. I guess we'll keep it on for now. But yeah, so nothing has changed over here. This is all still the same. I do want to get our passive mana generation set up over here in this wall with the blaze farm. So I'd like to set up some sort of quick and easy blaze farm where they drop their the blaze rods and stuff like that, and we use the flowers that eat the mana or the blaze rods. I forget what those things are called. Is it the endoflames? I think it's these guys. That way we can just kind of passively turn it on and, you know, create mana slowly as we go, because we're really not going to use a whole lot of mana anytime soon, because Botania is just one of those mods that I don't really care for. I like it, but I just haven't really found anything interesting to do with it yet that I find useful, like in my world. So yeah, maybe one day we'll do something cool, but for now I'll focus on tech stuff. Tech stuff I know. Which leads us to our last and final stop over here. Almost final. We got the pyramid. I'll go over there and show you, but I haven't done much over there. But this is our crafting island. So basically I've moved all the kind of auto ore processing and our sand and gravel and dust production over here. All these moving parts that have to be rendered, crafting and all this kind of stuff, I've moved over to this island because I want it out of sight, out of mind. And that meaning that this stuff, as you build it up, it really kind of starts to create lag. I felt it a lot when all of these machines were over there. So I mean, I pretty much had most of these machines over there. Obviously I didn't have all these. I created this for the sole fact of doing all of our ore processing, which is probably a little overkill, but I like it. And it wasn't overkill in the beginning because I had thousands of these little pieces and it was taking forever to craft them all and smelt it. So basically each one of these is set up to smelt like, well, you get the pieces from this whole sieve factory over here with the hammers and stuff like that. It goes into this chest, and then from this chest it gets sucked out over into this system here, which creates the chunks from the little pieces. Then the chunks go into the sag mill, they get doubled, and then from there they go into the sag alloy smelter, and then it gets smelted up and spit back into our system over here. So that's what's set up, and these are from the 7 different ores that we have in the game. or at least the pieces that we get from Ex Nihilo. So we got that all set up. That's going there. Over here, we've got some random stuff. I've got our solderers from refined to storage. So we got that all automated in here. We got the basic processor, the advanced, and the supreme. I forget what that one's called. Advanced, and what's the other one? What's the middle tier one? Improved. So we got that all set up over here. And then we have our crafters, which everything over here is all fed in the system. And then these guys are actually set up on a system on the inside that pulls the items out and sticks it into this interface, which then feeds it back into our system, so it counts as a full craft, which is actually really handy. I have a lot of fun with this refined storage. I think after messing with it some, I think I still like Applied Energistics 2 better, but refined storage is kind of a nice change of pace. It's very simple, very easy to wrap your head around and stuff like that, where AE2 is a little bit more complicated, and you can do, I think you can do more with it. I don't know how advanced you can really get with refined storage, but I feel like with AE2, with like the sub networks and all the different things that you can do, I feel like you can do more with it, but I just don't know this mod well enough. But it is really, really neat. So got all the different patterns in here for all the different crafting needs. And slowly over time, I think we're going to add to this, and I'll probably stick most of that maybe behind the wall because we don't really need to see it too much. But yeah, so I think that's about it. We got some random machines over here, the sag mills, just in case we need extras. And what else? We got our network receivers or transmitters down here. So basically, if I need to set up more transmitters, I'm not running all of these out. You know, these, I think I've only got like 4. Yeah, so it's just 4. But yeah, one of the really cool things I found out with these is you can name these cards. So like if you forget, like if you've got a ton of these set up, you don't remember what they are, if you name them with an anvil and 1 level, that actually helps you out a ton. Because you can set this up, and then if you tear it all down, you can set it back up somewhere, reset your card, stick it back in, and then you're all good to go. So pretty useful little tip there. But other than that, I think that's it for this island. This okay, so I knew that this tree was going to be huge, but I didn't realize how big it was, or how big it actually would be. This thing is massive. I thought about cutting it down. The world actually froze. Everything was busted for about like 5 minutes, I guess, while this tree was rendering in. Then it finally showed up, and it's actually kind of cool looking. But I was afraid it was going to break my world, so I did make a backup before I planted it. And I didn't think I was going to like it, but I actually kind of do now that I see it, because I think it would be kind of cool to build like a multi-leveled base inside of here, like have different stuff going on at different levels. So we could have like a base level down here, we could come up just a little bit and have like another machine, or maybe like a big reactor or something on the inside, and then just kind of slowly work our way up to the top. We might make a tree house. I feel like that would be just a cool thing to have, because we could do a massive tree house inside here. But I don't know, it's just an idea. I haven't chopped it down. I've decided to keep it for a little bit. I've got, you know what, let's go ahead and cut these things down real quick. I've got these magic beans I just planted just because I had them in my inventory. We're missing one, which kind of bothers me. But let's see what we get out of here. Get some good stuff, I think. Probably just basic materials. Alright, so we got that. What do we get? 27 diamonds out of that. That ain't terrible. 2 stacks of iron, 2 stacks of gold, just about, and some emeralds. Not bad. Uh-oh. You climb up these things so fast, it's crazy. Like, you can really tell, now that we have this tree over here, like how fast you actually climb these things. It's nuts. And you go down just as fast, too. But yeah, so let's drop all this stuff off because we don't need it. Throw all that in there. Dirt. That you can go in there. I don't need you. And we'll hang on to everything else. So last stop on our little tour today is over here at our pyramid. So I don't think you guys have seen the different blocks. I actually did this a long time ago, right before my schedule got really, really busy and I stopped recording. But I switched out most of the blocks. I think they were all just kind of random, and I cut out all these little panels here because our plan was to use this greenhouse glass on top of each one of these farms for our different crops. And I think before I had only had enough for this block here, or this area. But since then, I've actually set up a farm for everything that we need over here, and to set this up to autocraft. So I have all of these filled in now with greenhouse glass, which is awesome. And then we've got the hatchery fertilized dirt underneath, which speeds crop growth up really quick. So with the tier 2 growth crystals that we have over here, you can just see how fast this thing actually goes, which is actually pretty cool. I think we can speed this up even more using something like this thing, the reinforced watering can. Yeah, it speeds it up a little bit, I think. But yeah, so we can upgrade this as we need, but for now this is actually working pretty well. So I mean, if you just watch in here, you can kind of see how quick this adds up. I mean, slowly over time this adds up a lot. And then over here I've got this is it turned off? Oh, I guess it is turned off. Oh, okay, yeah, I think I turned this off for a reason because it was just filling up my system, but I needed paper. And so I decided to make some of this rice because you can use this to make paper like this. You get 3 paper just like sugarcane. So it's a little bit better if you do it that way. But yeah, so that's the only crops that I have over here. And I've gotten this far with the tier 2 growth crystals. And eventually we'll work our way all the way around here and get all of these set up with the tier 3, I think would be really cool. Oh. Tier. Where is the growth crystals? Here. This guy. But this takes dragon eggs, so it's the tier 2 growth crystal, which these aren't so bad. It's just the inferium stuff and diamonds, so that's no big deal. But the dragon egg, this is going to be the problem. So you need a lot of stuff here. You need dragon hearts from Draconic Evolution. It's a little rough, but eventually I think that would be really, really cool to have all of this set up with tier 3. That way we can actually really get into the mystical agriculture crops and get all of our resources from crops. I think would be really neat. A mix between the crops and the chickens. So with that being said, I think that wraps up our tour over here. It doesn't really seem like a lot of stuff went on, but I mean, this took a little while. Like I said, probably a couple hours a week over a month or so. And a lot of that is really, really thanks to some of these farms. Like I've ran out of wood a couple of times. So I just kind of been basically like, what do I run out of the most? And I set up a farm for it. So wood, dirt, some of our ores and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so a lot of automation, I think, which is really cool. Oh, and then over here, I got the little portal. So in here, I've got our beneath teleporter. So it's just like a little portal island, nothing major. So that's it. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the episode here for today. Like I said, this was a quick little tour. I think next episode, we are going to try to head to the end and kill the dragon, which we haven't done yet in this series. So we'll probably craft up some of the supremium armor and then maybe look at boosting this a little bit if I can. Do I have any modifiers on this? I don't. But we're almost to our next level, so that should give us at least one modifier and we can sharpen this up some. So hopefully that will work for the end dragon. I'm not exactly sure, but we'll find out next time. So anyways, thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with me today. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one, all right? Thanks for watching. Peace.